And my god, finally the last Sakurai story. He says that his next job after all this Smash DLC has been decided. We don't know whether he decided it or higher-ups at Nintendo decided it for him, but he knows what he's working on next. Anyone want to take a guess at what it is?
So I don't really keep up with the series. I think maybe you do a little bit, Colin. Is he still really that involved with Kirby anymore?
I don't think so, no. I don't really keep up with it, but from what I understand, I think Amazing Mirror was his last game. Which is a long time ago. And by the way, Amazing Mirror is my favorite Metroidvania game. It is. And it's, I think, one of the best Kirby games. I would love to see him return to Kirby, but I don't think that's necessarily happening.
Well, another possibility, I guess, would be another Kid Icarus game. I mean, I personally hope it's not, but hey.
Yeah.
Well, I think given where the current platforms and future platforms are probably going, it'll be a very different game than Kid Icarus Uprising, from a controls perspective, certainly.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of say this every time this kind of discussion comes up, but I really hope it's a new franchise and not an old franchise. We've seen Sakurai is definitely at his best when he's creating new kinds of games. As we saw with his success at, creating Kirby, even creating a spin-off of Kirby, Kirby's Air Ride, creating the Smash Bros. We all know and love. But at this point, it's been almost 20 years since he got a chance to create a new IP that is in a puzzle game called Meteos. And I think we'd all love to see him get the chance to be truly creative for a change.
Yeah, in some ways. Although in others, I think rebooting of, Kid Icarus Uprising, that in so many ways basically is a new IP. I mean, it still has the Kid Icarus name, and it still has, Pit, Medusa, and Palutena. But otherwise, everything else is almost completely new. So I think a reboot can kind of be considered a new IP in many ways. But yeah, I agree with you for the most part there. I think Kirby, Kid Icarus, and the NX version of Smash Bros. We've kind of talked about sometimes, they're all viable candidates. But if I were to really put myself out there, though, I'd say he's going to reboot the Murasame Castle franchise. Because Nintendo clearly wants to do something with this IP. They released the original game in the West for the first time ever about a year and a half ago. Takamaru was in Samurai Warriors 3, they had the Ninja Castle attraction in Nintendo Land, and Sakurai even said that he wanted to have Takamaru playable in Smash 4, but didn't think enough people would recognize him. So, I really think all the stars are aligned for this franchise to get the same sort of treatment now that Kid Icarus got last time that Sakurai finished up a Smash game.
Yeah.
And I think it would be, really interesting and creative and fresh, and, that's... The original is so old and so basic and so kind of outdated that it could have all the creativity, I think, of a new franchise and, still touch in some ways on something that Nintendo's already got a bit of a history with. So I'd love to see that happen, if not only for the fact that that is a franchise that can basically become a new franchise.
Yeah, and now that we're seeing kind of Zelda take the leap into the open world, big budget kind of space, it'd be interesting to see a game like Murasame Castle step into kind of its shadow of where it was before.
Sure.
And develop a more linear kind of game that builds on the Murasame Castle sort of template.
Yeah, it could be. I was imagining, he would do something more like Kid Icarus, where he basically just makes the gameplay not even remotely resemble the original. Basically makes it completely fresh and starts with his own new idea, but it's just got this sort of samurai skin on it. The way that Kid Icarus just had this kind of Greek skin on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's just so old, there's so much potential for creativity that it's basically like a blank slate anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of appealing to me about that, is that it's this old Nintendo franchise, but it's still just as ripe for new ideas as new ideas are from the ground up.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, thank you for listening to this Nintendo Week clip, NWC. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more highlights and discussion videos from Nintendo Week podcast, or subscribe to us on iTunes for weekly breakdowns of all your Nintendo news, discussion segments on subjects, games, and more, and tons of other features. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow with another NWC.